Hey, all right, super fucking great, man. How you guys doing? Welcome to Hamburger Podcast Sunday, Soapbox Sundays. Got some fun for you guys today. I gotta tell you honestly, I'm a miffed. By the way, she is Michaela. I'm not into thicker girls, but she's so hot. You know what I'm saying? She's just so hot. Would you agree? No, you don't. You like thinner? Yeah, he's like me. Generally, I like them so thin where you could see breast and spine at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Where you walk in their house looking for a crack pipe or throw up because something made them that thin. I like thin. I'm not like, oh, I like a hard body with big boobs. No boobs, like tiny boobs, super thin, kind of gawky, sort of awkward, long, big feet, big hands. I don't know. I like that shit. I like crazy shit. I like ugly women, but not ugly. I say ugly because it's society's ugly. Fuck you guys. You don't judge the women. I like beautiful women to me that some of you find not pretty. There's women out there, like super thin women, but gawky, nerdy. I just find I find them so attractive. Anyway, here's my point. We got an election coming up in 2 days. This is insanity. We have been fed so much bullshit, so many lies, and there's so many people we all think we know. We all think we have our finger on the pulse, and we don't. None of us do. We're all out of our goddamn minds. Every one of us knows nothing, but we think we know everything. And I don't know everything. But here's my thing. Ask yourself this question. Is Trump the candidate that a Republican or a conservative or somebody who's a heavy capitalist, is that somebody that they would want for president? Is that their kind of guy? And if the answer is yes, then he's doing his job. He's doing what he's supposed to. Ask yourself this. Excuse me. Also, is Pence the kind of conservative fundamentalist that side wants? Yes. Is Biden who the liberals and the Democrats really want? And again, let's just run through this.
Unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
My Democratic colleagues don't like me saying this. I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro, good for the black. And other than the fact that they still call me boy, I think they've changed their mind.
They're gonna put you all back in chains.
It's gonna happen, whether you like it or not.
Know that. They're going to put you back in chains. Where's Black Lives Matter now? Why isn't the media talking about Black Lives Matter now? They tried to bring in this last shooting in LA. The problem was it was a Latin cop who shot him, way closer to African than white. And so, they couldn't go too far with it. So the family's pissed and they want their payday. Like their gang member kid who was doing nothing but wrong. Even his friend said he was a joker. The dad or the lawyer was saying he was pointing the gun forward. Who gives a fuck he had a gun? Was he supposed to have the gun? If you show me where he had a carry permit or he legally even owned the gun. If you show me where he legally owned the gun, cool. But if he was running because he had an illegal gun and this and that, or he had warrants, or he had this, or gang affiliation, don't care. You know what I'm saying? Again, we're not talking about who I was talking about. God damn it, I can't think of his name offhand. But the guy who got shot, who was a fucking angel of a dude. And nobody fucking talks about him. Christopher, I believe. I believe it was Christopher. Was shot, and nobody gives a shit. Here's the point, though. It's a lie. That's the thing. So Trump is who the Republicans want. Pence is who the conservatives want. Is Kamala who you guys want? She's a liar. Now ask yourself this. Watch this.
By the way, what you all know, but most people don't know.
I believe them, and I respect them being able to tell their story and having the courage to do it.
Do you believe that the vice president should enter this race?
Graybian, the multimedia
marketplace.
marketplace.
So I wouldn't tell him what to do.
So she wouldn't tell him what to do, but she was saying like basically, yeah, this scumbag fucking woman pervert needs to move on. But now she's his running mate, and her tune switched. You see, she's his running mate, and her tune switched. And I mean, are all Democrats willing to switch back, to turn on each other, to switch back, to turn on each other, to switch back, to turn on each other, to switch back? Are they? I asked Nancy Pelosi this question, and she said, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
She said, yes, sir. So here's the crazy thing. So I'm joking around about a lot of this, but I want you to watch this, please.
We have a few clips that we're just going to put up. We could turn the lights a little bit.
Share this if you want. It's just information.
And then we'll answer some questions. I'll ask you some questions because you're so guilty, but forget it. But most importantly, we're going to get back onto the reason we're here, which is the success we're having. Okay? Please, you could put it on. Thank you.
People should be more concerned right now with the flu in this country.
A lot of people are concerned about the coronavirus because they're hearing a lot of news about it right now. But the reality is, comparing it to the flu, for example, it's not even close to being at that stage.
What if it is worse? Is this a moment where maybe countries put politics aside, a little bit of pride aside, and do we have U.S. officials? Should U.S. professionals such as yourself get involved?
How worried should Americans be about coronavirus?
Coronavirus is not going to cause a major issue in the United States.
Well, we've asked them to accelerate whatever they're doing in terms of a vaccine.
We will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Medicare patients can now visit any doctor by phone or video conference at no additional cost.
The first 1 million masks will be available immediately.
As there were more cases, and it was clear that it was spreading out of China, where it originated, the president took this move that he was widely criticized for by Democrats and even some Republicans at the time, which was he halted a number of flights from China into the U.S. The idea was to halt the spread of the disease, keep transmissions to a minimum. He was accused of xenophobia. He was accused of making a racist move. At the end of the day, it was probably effective because it did actually take a pretty aggressive measure against the spread of the virus.
His team is on it. They've been responsive late at night, early in the morning, and they've thus far been doing everything that they can do, and I want to say thank you, and I want to say that I appreciate it.
He returns calls. He reaches out. He's been proactive. We got that Mercy ship down here in Los Angeles. That was directly because he sent it down here. 2,000 medical units came to the state of California, these FMS, these field medical stations. And that's been very, very helpful.
The president has been outstanding through all this. The vice president's been outstanding. Members of the coronavirus task force, very responsive.
We had asked if we could have, New Jersey could have access to a piece of the beds that are on the USNS Comfort, and the president came back, called me a short few minutes before I walked in here to say indeed they would grant that to New Jersey. So that's a big step for us in addition to all the other capacity. That news is literally hot off the press. And I thank the president and vice president who are on the call together.
President Trump approved Arizona's request for a presidential major disaster declaration. I want to thank the president for a quick turnaround. We requested this on a Wednesday, and we had approval by Saturday morning. And we are grateful to the administration for their continued support and responsiveness.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the president and the vice president for doing a really good job of communicating with all the governors.
Why are there no consequences for China for the misinformation
How do you know
that
there
they
are no
shared?
Consequences?
We've been asked, and it
How do you
appeared
know
that
there are
were
no consequences?
What are the consequences, Mr. President?
See, that's the thing. And right there, see, that's a great point. At the end, you see it. She says, why are there no consequences? But he said, how do you know there's no consequences? And she doesn't know that. She doesn't know at all there's no consequences. She has no concept of what the actual meetings have been. She wasn't let in on the meetings with China and things like that. God damn it. I'm sorry, my arm falls asleep nonstop. It's the worst feeling. Anybody who goes through nonstop chronic pain, I feel for you. Just know, meditate, ignore it, deal with it, laugh at it. Do everything but succumb to it and take pills. Don't take pills and don't succumb to your pain. Never get depressed. No matter how bad your pain is, never get depressed. Refuse to do it. Say, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I'm going to breathe. If it gets so bad, I'm just going to start stabbing people in the neck, and that'll make me happy. Anyway, I want you to follow this. This is the whole point, is everything you saw was actual news clippings. They didn't dub over these governors' voices, Cuomo and Newsom and this and that, who are like, oh, the president's doing fantastic. And then later we come back and say, oh, the president didn't do anything. Well, there's proof the president was doing things. And yes, coronavirus is real. You also saw in that clip, I believe, if it was that clip, where they're talking about the fact that so many Democrats didn't believe in the coronavirus in the beginning, scuffed it off. Fauci scuffed it off. When asked by Hannity, the most conservative motherfucker, are we doing enough? Should we be doing more? Nah, we're fine. We're fine. It's okay. I'm going to go to a baseball game, and I'm not going to wear my mask, and I'm going to throw the dumbest pitch ever. Why he sounds like Mike Tyson, I don't know. But that's Fauci to me. And it was just goddamn awful. It was so awful. I was so upset by the whole thing. It just literally, if people can understand that, it was so upsetting because why was he at a... Please follow this stuff. How are the homeless people not being wiped out in droves if this is so serious? Stop pretending it's more than it is. That has to end. You have to, even I was scared of it. I wore the mask. I said, I don't believe in any of this, but I'm still mad at Asian people and I'm still wearing a mask, meaning I'm falling into all the media hype. So I'm doing everything and I'm buying everything, but I'm prepared. I'm stocked up. I'm all these things, right? Okay. But now I'm just completely, because I wasn't 100% convinced it wasn't completely going to wipe us out, right? Or try to. So because I have kids, if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd hop on a motorcycle. I'd go cruise around and fuck. I have kids, so I had to be concerned. So I got super worried. And I got a mask. I got N95s. I got everything. I had N95s to begin with. Got some more. Got ready. I didn't take them from anyone else. I didn't overstock on them. I just had enough. I was totally prepared and ready. Boom, 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 right? Totally with it. I don't buy it at all anymore. I think it's complete bullshit. I think it's nothing more than just another strain of the flu, like everyone said in the first place, like Trump said in the first place. Yes, we got to do things to prevent it from getting crazy, just like H1N1, just like bird flu, just like everything else we've had, SARS. But we don't have to shut down the country and we don't have to shut down the world. And that was a shame. And Sweden and Russia, who didn't shut down, are perfectly fine. So you got to kind of wake up to that when they're talking about, like the president said, we're turning the curve, but there's 939 deaths. In a country of 600 or 300 and something, 400 million people. 400 something million, am I right? Or a billion people or some shit like that. Something like a billion, something like that. Oh, Robin, thank you, buddy. Well, and I will. Which clip are we talking about? I will. I'll repost it. Share the video, by the way, guys. Please share the video because this is important. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just showing you some of these things, but here's something I want you to watch. This is the thing. Black lives matter. Black voices matter unless they don't agree with the left. Watch.
You are an elected Democrat there in the state of Georgia, as I understand it, but yet you're supporting the Republican president's reelection bid. How is that going over in your district?
Well, obviously, my district knows about me. I've served as county executive. I've run a government. I've done things to move my county forward and the people, serve them well, solid record of accomplishments. But this is not about politics. This is about putting your country before politics, putting your country before the party. President Trump is right on target with results. Prior to the pandemic, he had the best, and you know it, the best economy that we've had going back years and years and years. The Democratic Party chose to put
an economy that even many on the right have acknowledged that he inherited from the previous administration.
Well, that's fake news.
Well, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
If you look at the unemployment among African Americans during his years and during the Obama years, clearly it was much better.
Yep.
If you look at opportunity zone districts, if you look at support and financial support to historical colleges, clearly it's better off under his administration than the previous administration. So, I don't want to get caught into politics.
Well,
just
Representative
because I'm a
Jones,
Democrat, my party feels though that
Representative Jones, I like to traffic in facts, and much of what you just said is patently false. But I do want to. Representative Jones, this is my show. I'll ask questions. Give me a second.
Well, you had me on your show.
I know,
let me explain. Don't cut me off when I'm giving an answer.
I'm not cutting you off, but I do want. Are you a paid campaign surrogate? Are you being compensated by
Let me be clear. You get paid to shape a liberal narrative.
Yep.
You get paid to attack this president. I don't get a dime for this president. I don't get a dime from the campaign. Everything I've done has been me and based on my principles. And see, that's the problem. When an African American that's elected official,
I did not raise your
Let me finish now. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Whoa. You're not going to imply that I asked that question because you're black.
So don't ask me that. You only ask me that because I don't fit your narrative. No, this president never offered anything. I don't want anything from this president. It's what I can do for my country. And you need to accept that many other African Americans and others support this president because of his policies. And to insult me to say, am I getting paid?
I've asked the same question. I've asked the same question
and that's
of
representative
Democrats who come on.
MSNBC and their narrative to keep blacks silent who happen to support this president. Why can't I be like white liberals or other whites? Nobody questions they're getting paid. So I have to get paid. Do you ask Democrats? Do they get paid?
I just said if you
paid by Joe Biden.
I just said to you.
Have you ever asked any host on your show that they've been paid by Joe Biden?
State Representative Vernon Jones. Representative Jones, thank you. Do come back. An open invitation.
I love to come back.
Thank you.
Immediately cut off the show. Immediately shut down. He suppressed his blackness from being able to be free and talk. If you follow me on that, I'm being silly, but in truth, you have a black man who got mad at a black man for saying, "Hey, dude, you're asking me this because I'm black," and it was pretty obvious that he was asking him because he was black and supporting Trump and a Democrat. But he's saying, like, my race has a lot to do with why you're all upset that I'm supporting Trump. And he was saying, what you don't understand is a lot of black people support Trump. And he's like, wow, your race. Don't bring up race. Whoa, man. Don't bring up race? So when it's on you, don't bring up race. When it's not on you, bring up race. When is it and isn't it okay? Can I bring up race if, as a white person, I feel like I've been treated badly? No! Okay. Let me ask you this. Bobble, fucking great, huge fucking, Lebowski motherfucker. Okay, let me ask you this question, okay? Can I ask you? Yeah, okay. Can I bring up race if, say, I'm Jewish, but I look like me? No. Okay, both of you say no. Okay. Can I bring up race if it works for me and I'm on the left, even if it's not my race? I think that's a yes. Anyway, the simple point is, I'm trying to say it's so, everyone decides when you can and can't bring up race. No, you don't get it. Fuck everyone. How about that? Fuck everyone. I'm going to say whatever I want, whenever I want, and I'm not going to be a dick about it. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to say things that directly insult or offend or affect other people. So if on my show, I want to be like, yeah, this old friend of mine, total faggot, right? Just acted like such a fag. I'm going to say that. Okay. If I want to drop any racial, I'm going to say them. I'm not going to go out in public and say these things because it's going to set people off. I'm not afraid of them. I'll stab people in the fucking face. Okay. It's that I don't care to prove my freedom of speech by saying ignorant shit around other people that offends them. But if I grew up my whole life saying bitch, cunt, fag, things like this, and I just say that in my conversation or on my show or on things that are mine in my house and my stuff, that's my choice. If I go out in public and I have to offend people, that's also my right. And illegally, I can get some backlash, meaning people can illegally beat me up and stuff for things I say. At the same time, though, there's people I'd beat up for shit they say. You see, so if you come at me all anti-Semitic, I'm gonna get human race is right. I'm gonna put that up there. I like that, Robin. I'm gonna say, like, that's the whole point. It's like everyone wants to come at each other and everyone wants to say this and that, but the fact is, it's all bullshit. It's all about money and politics. And when you realize that, you realize everything. Here's another point I'm going to make, because this is just one human being protecting another human being in a situation. And I'm going to say this. I have felt this way forever. I do it myself. I take it upon myself to do these things. Okay. By the way, if you keep going to these protests about Black Lives Matters, and you keep wearing shirts that say Black Lives Matter, and you have anything to do with Black Lives Matters, and you walk by 40-year-old plus Black people that are homeless, and you don't help them in some way, give them money or something like that, just because they're over 40 and over, and Black and homeless, and we know that because of their age, they could have totally been affected by being treated badly in this country for being Black. We know that 40 years and older, 40 years ago, 40 years ago. Yeah, 40 years ago. And for several years after that, excuse me, up until like the 80s, let's say, fucking ridiculous being Black. Now, after the 80s, yeah, it was hard looking like a certain type of Black person. That was a problem. Being Black wasn't as hard anymore, you see. And then it got easier and easier. Now it's fantastic. It's the thing to be. I told my daughter, you fucking win. You're a Black Jew. You're the shit. My daughter's a Black Jew. She wins. So the point I'm trying to make, though, is so it was all when it was hip, when it wasn't hip. But it's if you go 40 years back, yeah, those people growing up at the time, they put up with a lot of bullshit. If you were Black 40 years ago, oh, thank you, Audrey. I appreciate that. Either way, if you shared it, listen, I'm going to tell you this. A lot of guys had sex with you. It wasn't good, and they still told their friends. So again, appreciate that. Now, here's the thing. So if you're 40 years old and older, then you definitely could have been truly affected by your race, being Black. And so if you're walking by these people and you claim to like all these things and you claim to be all liberal and this and that, but you don't help them. This morning, not a brag, not a big thing. I don't videotape shit. I don't redo it so people could see. I'm just telling you this. I look out my window, older Black man sitting in a parking spot outside my window in my apartments. He's sitting there and he's shaving with a water bottle. And whatever, it didn't matter. I'm not going to make it more dramatic than it needs to be. Just an old Black dude fucking shaving. I said, hey, I'm making breakfast right now. You want some sausage, eggs, and toast? He goes, no meat. I go, okay, do you like eggs? He goes, yeah, sunny side up. Boom. Plus, the toast was fucking gluten-free, dairy-free toast, like fucking expensive guy because my daughter's got allergies. So the toast is, so anyway, I made him toast, a fruit cup, egg, some water, and I brought him down a plate and some whatever. No big deal. It doesn't matter. He said, thank you guys. I moved on with my life, right? The whole point, and by the way, I'm putting that up. I love that. I love this. It's fucking fantastic. So I'm moving on with my life, and that's it. And I did that because I looked at him and I thought, oh, there's an older Black dude, and he may have totally ended up on the streets because he's an asshole. Probably not, though. He probably ended up in the streets being a Black person of his time who didn't have money and didn't come from a family of money or connections of any kind. And so he had to struggle in life and ended up in the streets. And a lot of things, maybe he was part of the time in LA where they were flooding it with coke and shit, Freeway Rick Ross, if you know about that. So, Charlemagne the God talks about it. Other people talk about this stuff. Check it out. But Freeway Rick Ross is a real deal thing. That really happened. And so they flooded it. And a lot of people are still on Vermont Avenue in Los Angeles. I used to live over there. Still a lot of people living up in the bus stops and stuff from way back then. So this guy might have been a product of racism and hatred. And that's why I was like, okay, well, you know what? My daughters have but Black lives do matter to me. And they mattered to the point where I went and I had breakfast. I made him breakfast, my daughter breakfast. Both of them had a better fucking breakfast than me. That's the truth. They both had more breakfast than I did. I got one piece of my daughter's French toast, and I got the sausage he decided not to eat. And I actually only got half of that because my daughter didn't want sausage. Then she decided she did. So I had to give her half but that's what I'm saying. So the fact is, whatever, but that's just what you do. You know what I'm saying? If you really think Black lives matter and you see an older Black person, man, especially a woman, you see an older Black woman on the streets, fucking help her out. Give her hotel money for the night. Let her shower and stuff like that. Get her a hotel room. Let her shower and don't put it in your name because then you're a fucking moron on the TV. Everything will be gone. Not because she's Black. Because I'm poor. I grew up poor. I know what we do. I'm saying you go to a hotel room, have her rent it, pay for it, right? Pay cash, whatever. Fuck, put the deposit down. Let her keep the deposit when she leaves, right? So you put the deposit, boom, boom, whole thing, right? You've helped her out. She gets to shower, clean up everything for the night, has a bed to sleep, and you might even affect her whole life in that way. If you truly think Black Lives Matter, then you find a woman or a man, but especially a woman, Black woman, over the age of 40, who's homeless, who's mentally ill, who's on drugs, any of those things, and you realize that more than likely this has to do with societal racism. I agree with that. I think many Republicans, many conservatives agree with that. At a certain age, stop with the young people. You've had as much opportunity as anyone else. Granted, you're starting from a ditch. I get that. You're starting from a hole, trying to work your way up. I get that, but we're in 2020 now. That it needs to end. Not for the people who are still affected by it, though. Do you see what I'm saying? Not for the people who were run over by this, the Black people who were run over by this systematic racism and everything else that we know went on, that we have proof went on. Follow me. So the fact is, if you do care about Black lives and things like that, then start helping Black women that are homeless, that are on drugs, that are fucked up or whatever, over 40. Homeless, start helping men, Black men over 40. That 40 and over that are homeless, that are affected by drugs and this and that. Help them. Get them a hotel for the day. Give them a meal card for Ralph's. Do stuff like that and realize that they're going to take the money they're given because people are going to go, well, they get government money. Yeah, they're going to use it for drugs. They're going to use it for drugs because if you've ever grown up in systematic racism or slavery or horribleness or oppression, then you understand that drugs is an incredible escape from your horrible life. So maybe they were growing up abused. Maybe they were fucked with. Maybe they were put in penitentiary early. Maybe they were falsely accused of shit. Maybe their parents sucked, whatever it be. Maybe their parents were junkies, heroin junkies, crack junkies. Maybe they were sold onto the streets. Maybe so many things happened that fucked them up. So that's fine. And they're going to take their money and they're going to go buy alcohol and drugs. So you make sure you give them food so they also have nutrition. Because the reason they're going to go buy alcohol and drugs is because of systematic racism. Now, if you see a kid, if you see a young man, 19, 20 years old and this and that, and, fuck him. Walk right past him and you go find somebody who literally came from that. If Black Lives Matter, if that's the point. But why aren't we talking about it in the media anymore? Ask yourself that. So I think this is the last thing I have, and I want everyone to watch this. And then, everyone by the two people. I used to do this show to 15,000 people live. It's what happens. It's truly, look, I did it to 15,000 people live, and people said if I didn't shut up.
It's going to happen, whether you like it or not.
I'd get banned. And I said, nobody's banning me. Nobody's going to shadow ban me and shut me down ever.
It's going to happen, whether you like it or not.
Is what happened. And so, fair enough. And so now I'm doing it to you few people that barely share the show, and that's fine. But this is good information. This is stuff that does need to get out there because the fact is, if you care about Black lives, then you start helping some fucking 40-year-old plus Black people, especially when you see old women and old men on the street. Old Black men, old women, and fucking put them in your home. Seriously, give them a room. Stop being an asshole. Give them a fucking room. You really think Black Lives Matter? If I had an extra room, I would throw them a room. I'm in a 1-bedroom. I'm in the living room. There's no other space in my house. If I had one other space, I'd fucking share it with an old Black person because I get that. Because this country fucked you over so bad. This country was so shitty to you. Cops, people, employers, everybody. Across the board, the government. Everyone was fucking against you. And I agree. You're right. So if I had the extra, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? Like, I literally want to do that. I want to start a meal program for fucking 40 and over Black people. Because fuck it, go buy your alcohol, go buy your drugs if you're on the streets and stuff. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're doing. Buy your candy, buy your Cheetos, whatever. I'm going to give you a good meal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's Black Lives Matter. They matter because they were fucked over. They were cheated. They weren't right. It wasn't right. Other than that, clean up those communities. If Black lives really matter, get in there and clean up the communities for the younger people. Give them the fresh start of a good community, a safe community, no drugs, no bullshit, no gangs, no prostitution. Legalize prostitution, but take it out of the hands of man. Take it out of the hands of men. Let men's prostitution be handled by men and women's be handled by women. And separate that shit and let everyone be independent and nobody can fucking manage anyone. Done. done and done. All I'm saying is when I get a prostitute, I like independent prostitutes, I guess is what I'm saying. Robin, anything you could do to help, brother, because I'm fucked. I am so shadow banned and screwed. I don't even know what. My old friend, my ride or die buddy, has fucking contributed to my demise as much as he possibly can, which is great. I did nothing but help him, which was my fault. I did nothing but be good to him. I wasn't the kind of creep who fucking banged people or cheated with people he knew or anything else. But yeah, he just led to my total, I didn't realize it, and now I'm totally shadow banned everywhere and fucked. He's probably looking at me right now. But anyway, the point being is, this is the whole point. Right? It's like, what the fuck? Because
It's gonna happen, whether you like it or not.